Hi, this is Victor Morganti. We're going to have a look at FactEngine inside Boston. If you're familiar with Boston, you'll know that Boston allows you to do conceptual modeling in object role modeling, which is a type of conceptual modeling which is database agnostic. We're looking at a university model and a lecturer entity type inside that conceptual model, where a lecturer works for a faculty and is in a school and holds a position and occupies a room and has an email address, etc. In Boston, you can model in object role modeling and quickly and easily convert your model to an entity relationship diagram or a property graph schema if you're working over a relational database or a graph database. So let's have a look at the corresponding entity relationship diagram for that particular section of the model, and there's the entity relationship diagram. Conversely, we can look at the property graph schema of a different section for that lecturer inside the same model. This particular property graph schema doesn't have any properties on any of the edges, but I've prepared a property graph schema that does, where person like city with rating, and if we control click on the edge, we see that it has a property rating. If we look at the corresponding object role model for that particular model, we can see how we set up the property against a relationship or an edge in the property graph schema by saying person like city, setting up that relationship with a fact type, and then appending that with the what will become the property in the property graph schema has rating. If we want to convert that to a entity relationship diagram, we quickly convert that to an entity relationship diagram. And there's our corresponding entity relationship diagram for that particular model. Going back to our university model, we'll appreciate that we're working with object role modeling because object role modeling is semantically verbose, where for each fact type we have natural language fact type readings which tell us about the semantics behind the particular relationships between model elements. Now let's have a look at FactEngine. If we right click on the model and open FactEngine, I already have a query written here in natural language. So which position is held by a lecturer, and that lecturer is in a school, and that school is in a faculty, and that faculty has a timetable booking that involves room 1. If we hit go on that, we get the query results. So lecturer Hamish Bentley satisfies the conditions for that query. Let's have a look at another query. I've prepared some earlier. That particular query reads, which lecturer occupies a room which is a room style study room, and that lecturer works for a faculty, and that faculty is involved in a timetable structure that is for semester 1, and that faculty has which faculty name. And I've already generated the results for that. If we want to, we can look at the query behind the FactEngine query. In this case it's a SQL query because this particular model operates over a relational database. With FactEngine you can operate over any database. So long as the particular database is catered for in FactEngine, you could be querying over a graph database or a knowledge graph or a multi-store database, whatever sort of database that you want, and do all of that in one simple and easy language, which is natural language. This is all made possible, of course, because FactEngine and Boston operates over object role models, which is the most semantically verbose conceptual modeling language in the world. That's a brief introduction to FactEngine inside Boston. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more videos.